Doing. Okay, so go ahead and you can put your hands on your hips, 1 foot further forward than the other. Let's just glide the hips left to right really slowly. Left to right. Okay, and put the other foot forward. Get a nice stance, toes pointed forward, straight forward. Slide your hips left to right, really slow. Okay, and then we're gonna go wide stance. Slide the hips left to right. You'll probably feel this more kind of in the groin area as you tilt that pelvis left to right. Okay, then I'm going to put 1 foot further forward than the other. Now we're going to rotate the torso. Let the feet, knees, and hips rotate and react to the torso rotating. You can see my foot's kind of flattening out, my knee, lower legs rotating, my hips rotating. Let all that happen together. Don't try to stop any of that. Just let that body rotate. Nice and slow. Okay, let's go to the other side. Other foot forward, same rotation. Okay, and then we go wide stance, same motion. It's going to feel a little bit different in the hip joint, being in a symmetrical stance rather than a staggered stance. Okay, then we go staggered one more time. So you're going to reach your hips back. Then you're going to let your trunk reach back as though you're trying to point your nose to the ceiling. Nose towards the ground, nose to the ceiling. Okay, other foot forward. Same drill, tilt that pelvis back. Nose to the ceiling. So if you see me from the side, you'll see my hips are going way back. Nose to the ceiling. Okay, and then same thing with the symmetrical stance. So wide symmetrical stance. Pelvis goes back. You feel this kind of more on the inside of the back of the hamstring. And forward, so you feel kind of a stretch into the abdominal wall and into the front of the thigh. Nice and slow. More. Very good. Okay. So now that we've done a little circulation and mobilization around the hips and the pelvis, let's go into some loading of it. So we're going to integrate it now. So we're going to do a little bit of a little squat matrix. So let's have your feet pointing straight forward, about hip width apart. Hands are going to be up. We're just going to sink into a squat. So a squat by definition is to fold the body. So we're folding at the ankles, the knees, the hips, and the torso. You're folding your body into thirds. Reach the hands forward. That'll help counterbalance you a little bit. Okay, so let's do the same idea. We're just going to take your foot one step further forward. Okay, so we'll back up a bit. But you got one foot further forward than the other. That back foot, that back heel can just pop off the ground a little bit. You don't have to keep that heel flat. We call this a 1.5 stance. So pull that heel up, and you're just going to lower. Again, you choose how deep you feel comfortable going up and down. Just keep the same rhythm and timing as you do it. Our time. Okay, and we're gonna switch. There we go. Very good. Now we're gonna stand a little bit wider stance now. Your toes are still gonna be pointed straight forward. Hands are gonna be out in front of you. And sink into that squat. Make sure you try and keep your knees open so that your knees kind of in line with your second toe, between your second and third toe. Again, find that rhythm. Try to stick to that depth where you feel like you're really successful and the body likes that sensation. You don't want to push into a painful range of motion. Just where you feel like you can maintain that good rhythm and time. By the time you're done this, you'll have done a whole bunch of different stances. Okay, now let's go really narrow this time. Let's keep your feet inside the width of your hips. This one's going to feel a little different. We're going to squat with a narrow stance, almost like we're downhill skiing. Keeping your skis closer together. Very good. Okay. Let's go back to a symmetrical stance. And this time we're going to turn your toes out. So you're about hip width apart. Symmetrical. We're just going to turn your toes out and we're going to open your hips up. So as you sit, you'll feel that, oh, I've got a little bit more room in the hips to maybe explore a deeper sphere of your movement in your squat. Again, if you need to make little micro adjustments in your stance, go ahead and do that. Okay, let's go ahead and take that a little bit wider, still with your toes out. You won't be able to go as deep here. The angles of your femurs won't allow you to. Just find a rhythm in that stance. Okay, and then we're going to go real narrow with your toes pointed out. Little ballet plie squat. Okay, Here's where we're gonna make it really interesting. We're going back to symmetrical. This time you're gonna turn your toes in. What this is gonna feel like is it's gonna feel like, oh, I don't have any room. That's okay, because we changed the position of the bones that don't allow for as much depth in the motion. What it's doing is it's driving that bone into the capsule of the joint. And us doing that, it's kind of like an active stretch for the capsule of the hip, which is going to aid us when we start stretching at the end. Okay, so there's toes turned out. Let's go really wide now. Oh, like a hockey goalie. You really don't have very much room here. Think about spreading that floor apart when you stand up. The sensation of what's happening here in the front of that hip. Okay, so you're not able to go down very far. We're still asking the task to be completed. You just changed your orientation to gravity with your stance. Okay, and if we go really narrow this time, when toes turn out, you're not going to get anywhere because your knees are going to bond together. Go ahead and squat as deep as you feel comfortable anyway. You might have to make up some of that range of motion at the torso, flexing on the hip, kind of aid in that motion. Okay, now, fun little test. Just go to your normal stance, whatever that is for you in squat, and you should feel like, boing, I can get all the way as deep as I've ever been. You'd have lots of room now to get down there. Okay. Do a few more. One more time. It's a fun little trick to use that awkward squat of turning your toes in, your knees in, just to kind of mobilize that internal part of that capsule. And then when you go here, you got so much more freedom of motion there. Okay, so let's do a little bit. Our third microdoses. Let's just create some extensibility around this region that we've been working on. I'm going to grab a mat here. If you have a pillow handy, that's awesome. Put a pillow under your knee. I'm going to put one knee down on the ground. It's my favorite stretch of all time. This is just going to be an anterior lean. I'm just going to lean into it and stretch that trail hip. You go where you feel most comfortable. Take some deep breaths. Did lots of squats today, just to mobilize the front of that hip. I'm just going to add this real subtle bounce here. Just keep it a little bit more elastic. Okay, ease off on that. Let's bring the other one in. Nice easy stretch. We're going to go back to the same side, or to the first side that we were on. This time what we're going to do is we're going to shift your weight away. And if you can see my back foot here, my heel's dropping down and in. And then that's going to give me more of a stretch kind of on these inside fibers of the adductor and a little bit into that medial hip flexor. Okay, so if I go this way, see I'm shifting my weight and that back foot rotating down towards the ground. A rotation of the lower leg gives me a little bit more freedom of motion when I'm stretching. Still a very good angle. It's better angle. So now let's go into the hamstring. There's a couple different ways you can do it. I'm going to do it where we're lying on our back today. And so I'm going to try and lift my heel up towards the ceiling. So by doing that, I'm going to take my toe, point it back towards my nose, grab onto my legs. And I'm just going to do a light little pull and release. So for those of us that have suffered from low back pain, holding a static stretch can kind of be aggravating. So all we're going to do is have a nice little stretch here. You'll feel that the hamstring and the erectors of the spine are kind of connected together. So when you get a little tug on the leg, you feel a tug in the tissues of the back. So we're just going to keep it a little elastic here. Just let those surfaces glide a little bit with some momentum. Okay, now you can go to the other side. Same thing, try to stretch your heel up. Okay, and then the last one we're going to work on is going to be for the outside of the hip. One that I like here is a modified pigeon. So I tend to want to start like this. So I've got one leg across me here. I switch it up, and then I'm just going to lift my bum up off the ground and turn my torso. And lo and behold, you get yourself into this nice little stretch on the outside of the hips. Try to keep a 90-degree angle between your shin and your foot. And when you feel ready, you can reach forward with the other arm. Okay, and we'll try the other side. So I got one leg in front of me, one leg behind me. Think about trying to keep 90 degree angles everywhere. And then you just lift your hip up off the ground. A little stretch here on the outside of that hip. If I reach this hand further forward, might get a deeper stretch. Maybe some happy little pops. Go, sit down onto the ground. Put your feet together for the very last one. This is just a nice, easy called butterfly. But try to bring my bum as close as I can to my heels. And just like a butterfly flapping his wings. Just flap your legs in and out. Long and tall through the shoulders. Take some deep breaths. That should have liberated some better motion at the hips and pelvis. Help take some stress off of the lumbar spine. When you practice this week, a little routine, think about, how did I organize that today? What was it that I did? What were the emotions that I put in place there? What were some of the rules you heard me talk about? So you can replicate that and remember that for yourself. Because that's really how you get better at this stuff, is not only just thinking about what makes you feel good and letting your intuition guide you, but then putting it into practice. So you put it into practice and make it a daily routine. It's better that you're doing something and just creating good momentum, some elastic rhythmic movement, and the body's going to really start to love that. And it becomes something that your tissues crave and your joints demand. So I hope that helped you guys today. I know it made me feel really good. It's something that I work on a daily basis to make sure that I can still function and do the activities that I really love doing. I hope you guys like that one.
Awesome. Thanks, John.
Yeah, buddy.
So we've got a couple minutes here for a quick question. I'll go to Carol first, just in case she has any questions today, since she's actually showed up in studio. And if not, I got one from YouTube for you, John.
Okay.
No questions. Thank you very
Nope.
much. Great class. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. So not a ton of questions in YouTube today, John. They must have just enjoyed your session, and I was late getting us connected, so I feel bad about that. So I think the main chatter, John, is how often do you movement snack throughout the day, John? I think they're looking for your routine.
Great question. So I usually start my movement snacks first thing in the morning. So I'll get up, do my business, come out here into the garage. I fill up my water bottle, start drinking some water, and then I go through. I'm going to measure my heart rate variability to see how my body recovered overnight and see what my tolerance is for exercise. And then that's when I start my movement snacking. So I'll grab my foam roller and I start working on all the little tissue things that give me maybe some of my bugaboos. It might be around my lower back is usually where I clear out the first region. So like what I showed you guys today is kind of what I do. I don't go 21 minutes into it. I usually stick to about 5 to 7 minutes of tissue work that I do around my back and then just mobilizing the pelvis. And then based on my plan throughout the day, so however I'm going to train or whatever activities I'm doing, like if I'm playing a sport, then I might do a movement snack before I go and play that sport. Or if I'm going to be exercising and doing some weight training, then I'm thinking, okay, well, if I'm doing an upper body exercise that day, what is my movement snack going to be that's going to complement that particular type of activity in that day? So whether I'm going for a walk or playing a sport or going to go do some weight training, I'm thinking about how do I get better circulation to those regions of the body where I'm going to need it? How do I integrate not only the motion that I'm going to do, but what movements would help facilitate a better outcome from my training? And then how am I going to recover? So usually I have like 3 to 4 movement snacks that I do throughout the day on top of what my daily goal is. So we're not expecting you to have to do that, but to start to think about what is it that you're going to do throughout the day. If you're riding your desk and you're a desk jockey, right? Like you're going to be there for 8 hours. So what work could you do to make sure that your body feels really good being under the stress of sitting at a desk all day long, right? And so we've got programs designed around how do I get you feeling better while you're at your desk? We've got programs designed around, well, I've got low back pain. How do I understand and be able to deal with back pain in order to be able to do the things that you love doing? So there's all these strategies that we put in place that are all centered, or the mechanism is the movement snack, but the outcome is driven always around what is it that I want to be doing in order to feel better at the things that I love doing, right? So when I played beach tennis a couple weeks ago, and that was a completely different environment and sport that I'd never played before. So I just thought about, what might I need to do in the game of beach tennis? It's on sand. I'm not on sand all that often, but then I've also got this paddle that I've got to, well, I better do some stuff around my pelvis and my hips because I got an idea I've got to have to get low. I'm going to have to get high to hit that ball. I don't have the benefit of the ball bouncing off the ground and coming right to me. So I'm going to have to get into more dynamic types of motions. So that's how I'm going to prepare for that day. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's really good. So yeah, if you're someone watching and you're really interested in this movement snacking thing, um, be sure to check out our October 15th 7 Movement Health Leader training. It's about a 4-hour training live with John and myself, where we're going to give you a lot more detail on how you can build these movement snacks into your day and just a lot more understanding of the uh, the anatomy of a 7 movement snack and how we put those together and how you can do that for yourself. So if you're interested in learning more, October 15th, I think it's at 1 p.m. Pacific. You can find that on the 7 Movements website. Come join us. We're starting to put together a pretty good group for that training in October. So John and I are looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And if you are someone who suffers from low back pain and that was beneficial for you today, we also have a 30-day back pain program. So it's a program I wrote to understand everything there is to know about your back pain, why you're getting it, how you're getting it, and what strategies you're going to learn in order to overcome your back pain. So we have that available as well on our website.
Awesome. Yeah, if you're looking for that one, it's under 30-day back pain protocol. So if you want to do 30 days of back pain movement snacks, that's the one to jump onto. Awesome. That's it for today. Thanks, Johnny.